Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lit Up Lightworker Podcast, bringing you fun and soulful interviews with spiritual teachers with the aim of tuning you in and lighting you up. You can access all episodes of the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos and interviews all about finding and following your life purpose. My name is George Lizos. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive, the author of Be the Guru, Lightworkers Gotta Work, and the #1 best-selling Protect Your Light. And today I have with me Kelsey Aida. Kelsey Aida is a self-empowerment author, coach, and advocate who helps people own their power and win at life. She's the author of Actually I Can, the Art of Affirming Yourself to Greatness, Affirmations for Happiness. Oh, that's another book, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me start again.
Okay, no worries.
Kelsey Aida is a self-empowerment author, coach, and advocate who helps Kelsey Aida is a self-empowerment author, coach, and advocate who helps people own their power and win at life. She's the author of Actually I Can, the Art of Affirming Yourself to Greatness, Affirmations for Happiness, Letters to the Universe, and My Pocket Guide to Manifestation. She also hosts international self-love retreats for women and the popular personal development podcast, Hi Vibin It. Kelsey, welcome to the Lit Up Lightworker Podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you. And we just had so much fun on my podcast when you were on, which everyone should go check out because it was epic conversation about protecting your light. And I just love hanging out with you and chatting with you and also listening to your voice. Your accent is very nice to my earbuds. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that. You can imagine I tried to change my accent back when I wanted to become an actor. I'm like, I need to learn the American accent. So I took American accent training. Clearly didn't work out. And I'm glad it didn't because I love my Greek accent.
Me too.
Well, let's talk a little bit before we go into affirmations. Today we'll be chatting all about affirmations, how to use them correctly, how to optimize them, because most people know how to use affirmations, but there are tips and tricks that we can use to optimize them so they actually work for us. But before we go there, let's talk a little bit about your journey to finding out about affirmations and using them to create change in your life. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I guess the most powerful story I can share is kind of like my initiation into becoming a spiritual teacher and someone who consciously really wanted to help people on a large scale. When I was in my late teens, early adulthood, I suffered from depression for like 3 years. I was stuck in like a super dark hole, and it was kind of the perfect storm of like hormonal imbalances, having injuries as a dancer. And that was like my thing. I wasn't able to dance and express myself in that way. And I was just overall lacking like a lot of genuine, deep intimacy and connection to myself, to the people around me. And so I had a very hard, isolating experience. And I just fell into this dark hole over time. And eventually I got really sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I remembered like, I didn't always feel like this. Like, this must not be who I am. This is just like a temporary experience that I'm going through. And the affirmation that really helped me climb out, or the mindset shift that helped get me out, was I'm not my depression, even though like that was something I was experiencing, like it wasn't me. So being able to come back into my wholeness and my power and say, this is just an experience that I'm going through as the greater version of me, it felt more tackleable. It felt more healable. It felt more temporary. And from there, I went on like this self-empowerment, manifestation, self-love, healing, psychology journey of what helps people, myself included, to feel good and live their best life and be empowered and live their life from really beneficial perspectives. And when I went on that journey and started learning things and tools and tricks and shifts that were helping me to heal and feel better and be even more happy than I was before the depression was onset, I just wanted to be the next Deepak Chopra and write all these books. So here we are.
I love that story, and I love hearing people's stories because I always learn so many different practices that they've used to help themselves. And I think it's so important to share our stories in podcasts because people listening who may not be feeling well, who may be relating to what you went through in the past, can have such an array of practices and tools that they can use to try and drag themselves out of whatever situations and find improvement. And another thing that I really enjoyed hearing about is the affirmation you use, I am not my depression, because there is this stereotype with affirmations that they have to be positive and they have to be affirmative all the way, but it's not always that. There are different ways of using affirmations, which is so exciting. So let's just go into it, but let's start with the basics. What are affirmations?
So basically, an affirmation is anything that you say or affirm. So a statement that you would declare about yourself or your life, or it could be another person or a situation, right? It's basically just a statement that this is what it is, or this is how I want it to be, or whatever. I would say a successful affirmation is distinctly different from an unsuccessful affirmation in the fact that one that's going to actually help you is an affirmation that helps you to either feel more relief or more empowerment. If it's not helping you feel relieved or empowered, then it's probably not the best affirmation for you in that moment. Because the goal with affirmations is to change your vibrational state via using your thoughts and your statements in a very intentional, conscious way.
I love the definition, and I love that you talked about affirmations that create relief and empowerment because it creates a sense of shifting something, as you said, the vibration. Could you give us examples of what a relief-based affirmation and an empowerment-based affirmation would be like?
Yeah, and I'm going to give examples too of like when you would use one versus the other. So I say relief and empowerment because we can't always access empowerment in every single moment, depending on like where we are vibrationally and emotionally. If you're really down in the dumps, you're probably not a vibrational match to like saying something super empowering and feeling good about it. It's just going to feel fraudulent, inauthentic, annoying. Like, I'm not there yet. This fucking sucks. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say bad words on your show. And, so that's where the relieving ones come in. And a relieving affirmation can, let's say you're having a bad day, a relieving affirmation can be, not all of my days are bad. This is just a temporary experience. Like, I'll get through it. It's not my favorite, but like, I got this. Or it could be something like, I'm willing to see things differently. I'm open to a new perspective. You want it to be an affirmation that helps give you almost like a sigh of relief and like an opening in the chest. That's when you know that that's the one that's resonating for you in that moment based on like going for relief. If you're going for empowerment, that can look different to every person in every moment, but it could be something like, I'm well on my way to becoming a millionaire. I'm really excited to experience this new reality I'm calling in. I am ready to meet my soulmate. Whatever it is, it's going to feel expansive to you in that moment. So instead of feeling like a sigh of relief, it's going to feel like energizing. So those are kind of like the two categories I would give to affirmations that are very beneficial.
I love that, and I love it to talk about the different states of being and how by gauging what our vibrational frequency is, then we can choose affirmations in that moment to help us either feel relief or empowerment. The way I teach it in my books is that affirmations have to be both positive and believable. It's not enough to be positive because, as you said, you may feel like you're fraudulent if you're like, you've just gone through a breakup and you're affirming, I'm in a loving and supportive relationship. No, you're not. You're just kidding yourself. So it's positive, but it's not believable. So it has to be believable and therefore create a sense of relief. Not all of my relationships are other people go through like breakups. It's okay. I will come out of this eventually. Now, these words, the process of and eventually, and I'm willing to, I love these transitioning words because I find you can take any negative situation and make it more positive. I was wondering, because I have the ones in mind, like I'm willing to, I'm in the process of, but do you have any more that you can share with us? Like all of these like transitioning kind of phrases that you put in to make affirmations sound better and more effective?
Yeah, so I like that you're bringing up this topic because this is what I would call like softening an affirmation or tweaking an affirmation or really like perfecting it for you in that moment. Because you might want to affirm that you're some billionaire hotshot, but you probably aren't there yet if you're trying to affirm it in a way that gets you there, right? So ways that you can soften or tweak the affirmation is like, I am open to learning how to become this, or I'm willing to experience this thing, or I am ready to change my mind about something, or it's really about the openness and the willingness. And I know there's more, they're not at the top of my head, but I talk a lot about these transitional phrases in my first book, hashtag actually I can, the art of affirming yourself to greatness, because when I wrote that book, I was really annoyed that affirmations were just like, fake it till you make it, one size fits all. They have to be super positive. And I was like, no, we need to work with where we are in every moment to find affirmations that actually work to help us move up the vibrational scale, move up the vibrational ladder in a way that is gentle and progressive and authentic, and not just trying to jump the Grand Canyon and be like, well, I don't like the vibration that I'm in, so F this, let's move on to the highest one I can like go into. And it doesn't work like that. It's usually a lot more gradual. And this is a more like self-loving way to practice affirmations. So when you're feeling bad about a certain area of your life, there are affirmations that you can say that will help you feel less bad about it. And from there, you can feel better. And from there, you can feel optimized. And from there, you can feel great. So it's a really gentle, progressive transition that you can do purposefully, especially with these phrases like, I am willing to, I'm ready to, I'm open to, I want to learn, whatever it is for you in that moment. Because it doesn't just have to be, I am this, or this is my reality, because that's a lot of like the templates that affirmations are given to us, like, I am successful, or I am happy, or I feel great all the time, or these are not the best ones to use because they don't feel empowering. They don't usually feel good unless you're truly there.
Exactly. And when you're there, feel free to use them. When you're high
Yeah.
vibing, then by all means, I am whatever you want to be and then fill into it. And which brings me to the next question. How do affirmations work? You talked about raising your vibrational frequency, and that's your ultimate purpose, but and the working of it. But is there something more we should know about how affirmations work?
Yeah. So a lot of the time, people think of affirmations as magic. And I'm not here to say they're not magical because they are. I think there's an aspect of speaking things into existence and seeing things from a certain lens that makes it so, right? That makes it true. So, but it's not just the words, it's not just the phrases, it's not just saying it over and over and over that makes it happen. It's the mindset shift that happens when you say that. It's the openness that's created when you shift your perspective. It's the empowerment that you can now start to embody once you've convinced yourself that you are operating a certain way. So it's almost like the affirmations are gently supporting you into becoming the vibrational version of yourself that you're going for, so that whatever you're wanting to manifest is that much more easily manifested, because the affirmations are a tool for making you more of an energetic match. It's not so much that the actual affirmation is the magic, although I think there's truth to that, but it's more so the affirmations are a tool to get you to where you want to go energetically, and then boom, it's easy to manifest from there.
I love that. Thank you for like bringing some logic behind this, because for a long period of time, especially as a result of the book The Secret, so many people were just mindlessly just muttering I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, without like noticing how that makes them feel. And in many occasions when you're not a millionaire and you're saying I am a millionaire, you feel bad about it rather than better. So that's why I feel affirmations don't work for many people, is because they're not using them mindfully and noticing and looking for that mindset shift that will allow them to take action and move forward and do something after the affirmation. Which brings me to another question of how do we do affirmations so that they work?
Yeah, so there are lots of different ways you can play with affirmations and incorporate them into your toolkit, right? I personally am a big journaler. So I like to write statements down about myself, about my day, about my life. Or I'm a big sticky noter. I will write certain specific affirmations that I want to be reminded of throughout the day, put them around my house. Or you can make little like alarms in your phone that would be like, you are beautiful, or I am beautiful at 2 p.m. every day. Like there are different ways you can incorporate them into your day and into your life. But if we're going to talk on like a deeper level of like picking which ones are the best for you, I encourage everyone to pick an affirmation or a belief or a statement or a mantra that you want to be the one, and then feel into it in your body. So if it's I am whatever, feel into that. Does it feel expansive? Does it feel relieving? Does it feel contracting? Does it feel not true? And then work with it from there in the ways that we've been saying. And I think there's a lot of misconception too about affirmations, that like you have to write it down a million times in order for it to have energetic momentum, and you have to like do all these weird rituals with them, and you really don't. Like you can just use it as a reminder in your day. You can think about it before you sleep. You can meditate on affirmations. I like to do an affirmation meditation in the morning where I'll breathe in and say something good about myself, and then breathe out and say something good. So I'll be like breathing in, I am light. Breathing out, I am love. Breathing in, I am supported. Breathing out, I am here for a good reason. Breathing in, I am in my purpose. Breathing out, I'm going to have a great day. Whatever it is, just each breath coming up with a new one that rides the last one. That's a really fun way that I like to work with them. But honestly, I encourage everyone to just make their affirmation really fun and supportive.
I love that process. I use so many ways of doing affirmations through the years, like the post-its. I remember in my dorm in college, I had them all over the walls. Every single wall, I had like 1,000 different affirmations. But I've never done it in the meditation style, like this, like breathing in an affirmation and then breathing out another affirmation, like on the spot. I will definitely try that tomorrow morning.
It's fun because it like utilizes all of your brain. So it's really easy to focus in the meditation. Like you don't get easily distracted because you're trying to conjure a new affirmation each breath.
Yes, and it's in the moment, and you're
Yeah.
not repeating something you've written down. You're just making them up, which is more natural, and it responds to the vibrational frequency you had with the aim of improving it, which is exciting. I want to share a little bit about my process that I use
Yeah.
now, and I think people will benefit from it. Now, this is a process that I learned from another teacher, Gala Darling, and it's called the Magical Morning Practice, and I've taken it to the next level. Like it's Magical Morning Practice on steroids. So essentially the process is, you every single morning you send a voice note to one of your best friends and you say what you're grateful for. You start with that. I'm grateful for blah blah blah, for however long you want, and then you move into your plan for the day, but you speak it out loud in the past tense as if you already done it. So today I woke up in the morning, I did this and I did that. And then you talk about your desire for the future in the past tense. And this is the fun part because you get to make up stuff that didn't happen yet physically, but are happening vibrationally because you're affirming them in the past tense as if they happened. Now, the magic behind that is because you've spent time nurturing gratitude in the beginning, you are already at a vibrational state that can support those additional details. And you can go as specific or as general as you want. So that's the magical morning practice as taught by Gala Darling. But then I started doing midday gratitude voice notes to another best friend, and then evening before going to sleep another voice note, what I'm grateful for in the day, and then to another yet another best friend. I have many best friends. Yet another best friend. My highlight of the day. So I get to get something from the day and milk it. So essentially, I have affirmations beginning, middle, and end of the day, very mindfully to build up my vibrational frequency. So I just wanted to share this tool. I think people will really benefit from it. If you want to obsess over affirmations, here's a way to do it.
I love that. If you want to be a super high achiever at manifesting and affirmations, that's a way. But what I love about that is like the community aspect of it and getting your friends involved and like having the people that love you and support you, not hold you accountable, because I don't like that verbiage, but be there to support you and hold space for your dreams and your visions and your day. And I think that's awesome. If you need any more best friends, add me to your list and I will voice note you back.
Yeah, the thing is, they reply back. So I talked them into it. So they all do it and they all manifest as a result of that. Like my best friend manifested her baby, like as a result of a year of doing this. Anyway, so let's talk about one of my favorite things to talk about: affirmations in combination with other modalities. So, what are some of the other modalities that we can use in combination with affirmations?
Yeah, so there's so many, and I'll just start with one of the more obvious ones, which is yoga and the body. So if you've ever taken a great yoga class, you've probably noticed that there are some mantras involved, some affirmations involved, the certain poses or name certain things, because there's something magical that happens when you are moving intentionally and thinking intentionally at the same time in coordination and dance with the breath, right? So, any type of stretching practice, movement, dancing, running, working out, weightlifting, whatever it is, affirmations can play an even more powerful role when used in conjunction with the body. So, let's say you are, I mean, bodybuilders do this stuff all the time, right? I see it all the time in my gym because I go to a crazy hardcore gym where people are squatting like 600 pounds and stuff. And the other day I saw this guy, and on the back of his shirt, it said ready for war. So it's like really hardcore, right? But I looked at him and I was like, he's clearly ready. Like he's a warrior. Like, look at his body. He's squatting 600 pounds. And I just imagine in his head, he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Like with each rep, you know? So it can be something as fun, simple, and as powerful as that. Or bring me back to the question because I totally lost track of what it
So
was.
different modalities to use with affirmations. For example, what I do, I use tapping, and with tapping, I use positive
Yes.
affirmations.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would say tapping, breathing, moving, um, journaling. I'm a big writer, journaler, fan of doing that. Sometimes in the bathtub, I really like to get into some affirmations. So when I'm just in the water, releasing resistance, just like getting all floaty, I'll just kind of run through some in my mind of like, it could even just be about the moment. Like, this feels so good. I'm really present here. I want to spend more time here. Like, this is juicy for me. I love how relaxed I am right now. Look at me all relaxed, you know, like getting into it that way. But yeah, I would say those are a couple of my favorite ways to interact with them.
Do you find yourself milking affirmations? Like, do you get in the rhythm of Abraham Hicks? They call it a rampage of like affirmations or whatever it is, of appreciation. So, could you give us some tips around doing that, if for people who
Yeah.
want?
So if you can do it for, Abraham always says 17 seconds, right? You get the energetic momentum going. But I would say, like, if you can do it for 11 minutes, that's like even extra, extra hardcore. So I find that with writing them out, because writing takes a little bit longer, it's easier to build more momentum than if you're just like spitting them off in your mind. So I like to make a list with actual pen and paper, not typing, so you can write it out by hand, because you're programming your subconscious mind, you're programming your life, and it takes up more seconds and more minutes to write them. And then the energy spirals itself and gets bigger and bigger as you go down your list. So, for example, I love doing this in conjunction with manifestation. So I've been manifesting a home with my partner, and it's being built, and we're moving at the end of the month. And when I was manifesting this home, I would write affirmations about it in my journal, like, my house feels so luxurious. My home is beautiful. It's so bright in here. I love how my master bedroom feels so regal. I have so much fun watching TV in the living room. I love that all my favorite snacks are in the pantry. My backyard is so beautiful. I love meditating outside. And I just live in the moment as if it's already happening to me. And I go there in my mind and I write this all down as a huge list of affirmations about my future house. And now it's here. So that's how it goes.
I love it, and I fed off of that energy, by the way, because I'm also manifesting my ideal house right now, and I'm like, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Tell me more.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes. And I did the same thing to manifest my partner, Jeffrey. And this actually I did with the last three relationships. So I'm not going to say it's going to lead you to the end all be all, but it will, because eventually you get to the person, right? So I would write things like, this is the most compatible relationship I've ever been in, which it is. We have so many common interests, which we do. We have so much fun together. I've never felt so loved and safe and supported in a relationship. This relationship is next level. We grow together, we play together. And I would just list off all that stuff. And now I'll read him like my notes that I made and everything. And he's just like, dang. And I'm like, dang, I know.
I love that. And something that I wanted to share is what you mentioned briefly is that affirmations will lead you on a step further in the journey. So they may not necessarily lead you to the end result, but it's the next step that will prepare you for the next and the next and the next and the next. Now, I wanna end this with us sharing our favorite affirmations. I will share my 4 top ones that I'm using right now, and then you can share yours. And I have post-its on my wall, so I'm gonna read them off the wall. So my first one is, I do less and I attract more. The other one is, my income is constantly increasing. The other one is, things are always working out for me. This is my screensaver motto as well. And the final one is, the more fun I have, the more money I make.
Ooh, yes.
How about
Juicy.
you?
I like it. Okay. So for me, well, one of my number one affirmations of all time is obviously what I named my first book after, which is actually I can, because this is like my mantra for whenever I think that I can't do something. I'm like, actually, I can, because I'm me and I can do anything, right? So that's like my mantra of myself. But lately, other affirmations I've been working with are, I'm letting it be easier than I ever thought possible. I'm really into ease these days. I'm ready to be surprised by my life. And I'm open to receiving way more than I've ever received before. Like, let my capacity to receive be bigger than it's been in the past.
Oh my goodness, so beautiful, especially the ease. I'm feeling into the ease and the effortless
Yes.
as well. Kelsey, thank you so much for sharing all these powerful tools with us. Could you share a little bit about how can people get in touch with you and get your books as well?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun, as I knew it would be. I didn't even have to do an affirmation about it. I just knew. But yeah, as far as my work and my books, you can find everything at kelseyaida.com. My first 2 books, hashtag Actually I Can and Affirmations for Happiness, are both explicitly affirmation oriented books. And then the process that I was describing about manifesting with affirmations is a lot of what I teach in my latest book, Letters to the Universe. And there's a little bit of that in my Pocket Guide to Manifestation too. But if you guys just search for me on Amazon, you'll see all the books. And yeah, you can connect with me on Instagram at Kelsey Aida. And I'm just here for everyone to live their best life and feel great and manifest their dreams. So if that's what you want to do, then hit me up.
Thank you so much. And all the links will be available in the show notes. Wishing you a lovely rest of your day.